Whether it's struggles for civil, political, economic, or gender rights, women around the world must often fight to have their voices heard. But one group is trying to advocate for women's rights by using film. Women's Voices Now uses a yearly online short film festival to encourage an international dialogue on women's rights. Full Frame contributor Sandra Hughes has more.
The reason that I became a filmmaker when I was a young girl, the Taliban came to Afghanistan and they took the power. That was the most difficult life for us, and because there was not allowed for us to go to school, and they're not allowed for women to go out. Even they can't go to doctor alone, they have to go with the husband or brother, and a lot of other problems.
Afghan filmmaker Alka Sadat's film Half Value Life was made of necessity. She wanted the world to see how women are devalued in her country. Her idea shows women across Afghanistan in different roles, focusing on the country's first female investigator as she uncovers atrocities at times too hard to hear. This child was forced into marriage and burned by her husband. Alka Sadat's film is never going to be a Hollywood blockbuster seen on the big screen, but it's no less impactful or important. It's part of a growing number of films created by men and women around the world aimed at bringing awareness to the plight of so many voiceless women, many who daily struggle just to stay alive. Women's Voices Now calls for filmmakers to send their stories and shares them with the world through an online film festival and at local screenings like this one.
We serve as a platform to amplify the voices of all women in the struggle for civil, economic, political, and gender rights, and we do that through film.
This year, the film festival has entries from the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and the U.S. The common theme is exposing a lack of women's rights around the globe and what many women perceive as their lack of value.
That experience of perhaps seeing yourself reflected in a character or a subject in a film, that's the moment where it becomes, oh, I could be that person too. I have a voice, I have rights, I have ideas, I have a vision. So now I'm going to go try to find the resources that are going to help me materialize into this person that I want to be. And this is what happens from these films.
Women's Voices Now awards grants to filmmakers like the woman who made this film about acid attacks in Bangladesh.
This woman decided to make a documentary about it, and we helped her get a grant to make it possible. And no one in her family supported her doing this. No one from the Acid Survivors Foundation would talk to her. She was very concerned for her well-being.
But that filmmaker was determined to expose a dirty truth for the world to see.
আর যখন রাস্তায় বেরোতাম, যখন মানুষে কথা বলতো, সাধারণ একজন শিক্ষিত ব্যক্তিও যখন বলতো যে এই ভূত যাচ্ছে, শয়তান যাচ্ছে, ভয়ঙ্কর, ভয় লাগে, এরকম ধরনের যখন কথা বলতো, তখন নিজেকে খুব কষ্ট লাগতো। কান্না বুক ফেটে গেল, আমি কান্না করতে পারতাম না।
They have less of a support system. Not all, but some of them just kind of give up.
Layla Jarman's film Voice of the Valley was accepted as part of the Women's Voices Now Film Festival. She even decided to join its staff.
As a filmmaker, I was drawn to Women's Voices Now. I wanted to be a part of the work being done with Women's Voices Now because just making films alone isn't enough. I'm not naive to think that my film is going to change the world, but what will change the world is people coming together on a platform, making strides as one internationally and globally.
For her film, Jarman spent a year of her life telling the story of two Jordanian Muslim journalists.
So they go into the sort of deep Jordan Valley. It's very agricultural, it's very corrupt governmentally, and they bring the problems of the people to the government in Amman, in Jordan. And the story is just kind of a year in the life of their professional careers and how they've managed to switch things from being attacked because they wanted to be journalists and uncover these stories to being celebrated.
Through the lens of filmmakers like Alka Sadat, people are seeing firsthand the struggle of women around the world and their determination.
For me, it was very important to my work be useful for the woman. That's why always I try to, on my film, I try to show some powerful woman to some other women who have problem, and they learn from the Afghan woman.
And if the Afghan women can learn from each other, the hope for women's voices now is that by seeing the struggles of women featured on film, a lasting change can come. For Full Frame, this is Sandra Hughes in Los Angeles.